This is Carla Hinton. I'm reporting for the Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. I'm here in the studio with two gentlemen who have written a book together. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I have here with me retired Brigadier General Robert Redwine, and I also have with me the Reverend Stan Toller. He is the founding executive director of the Center for Pastoral Leadership at SNU. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Carla.
Well, the first question I want to ask you is, what made you decide to write this book? It's called Minute Motivators for the Military.
Well, Carla, I've been writing the Minute Motivator series for a number of years. Okay. And as I traveled around at my speaking engagements, I noticed the number of military personnel that would be in airport seating areas and bookstores, and they'd be reading books, looking to try to find a book. And so I became really concerned that a word of encouragement and appreciation would be given to them. And so I looked for that opportunity and met up with General Redwine at a Southern Nazarene alumni banquet, and we began talking about the book project, and now you have it, Men Are Motivators for Military.
Okay, good. Tell me a little bit about why you thought this would be a meaningful project for you to be involved with.
Well, again, as was mentioned, it was Dr. Toller's idea, and it was based on his Minute Motivators book and his Minute Motivators series. And I had previously, when I'd been temporary duty to a certain base, had been given the office of a general who was out of town to use during the time I was there. And on that general's desk was a copy of Minute Motivators for Leaders, the flagship book that he had written. And that really makes sense to me on a number of levels. The first is the military emphasizes leadership, really from the beginning of training all the way through. And at various times during the careers, we attend professional military education that's also focused on leadership. We have leadership development programs. We have a career advice that is given to officers and enlisted throughout their careers. And so it seemed to me that this was exactly an ideal thing for the military, not only from the standpoint of leadership, which is foundational for the military, but also, as Dr. Toller said, from an encouragement standpoint, that we hope that it would be something that would benefit those that are serving in the military, the Reserve, National Guard, and the families that love them.
Okay, good. Well, Reverend Toller, I wanted you to talk a little bit about the concept of Minute Motivators. How does it work, and what can people find in this book? I know that you have said it's a short read.
Well, the subtitle on all of those particular books in the series is Quick Inspiration for the Time of Your Life. Okay. And people are extremely busy, as we all know. Right. And so I've zeroed in on this series. The Minute Motivator series is a 60-second read each day, and it contains a thought and then a 60-second read that I hope is encouraging and challenging, and in particular, as it relates to the military, on the left side of every page, you'll find a significant quote that General Redwine has supplied for the project of great leaders in the past and current leaders that will encourage the military on many fronts, and as well as the words written on the right-hand side of the page each time.
Okay, good. Well, tell me a little bit about the response that you've received about the book. You had some interesting things to say about people who have read the book, or maybe they picked it up and they thought that it was interesting and they were already getting something back.
Yes, Carla, there's really been two types of feedback that I've received. One is from folks that have reviewed it from a leadership standpoint, and they have indicated, as we had hoped, that there's a great deal of information in a relatively short read, a short book. But there is a number of different leadership topics covered, both with the quote and with the short passage that's on the other side of the page. So they enjoyed it from that standpoint. It covered a significant number of topics, all of which are applicable to military life. The second came from a veteran who was suffering from the aftermath of being deployed and suffering from PTSD, and he indicated that it was a great source of encouragement for him and a great benefit from him as part of his rehabilitation, his recuperation, that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything either of you would like to add before we wrap up?
Well, I think that this is a much needed project, and perhaps the General would speak about even how he felt earlier in his career about a need for such a project.
Right.
Well, that's right. I mean, to be completely honest, I wish the book had been available when I was earlier in my career, because candidly I have fallen short in some of these various leadership attributes as I look back and reflect on different situations.
Okay.
But hopefully it will be of benefit to people serving now, and they'll also remember that it is part of a developmental process, and that none of us are perfect, but all of us should be striving to exemplify those goals of excellent leadership.
Okay, good. That's a great way to finish up. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Carla Hinton reporting for the Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. For more information, read the Oklahoman.